I invested a lot of money into buying this building, into developing this concept so black people can have somewhere nice to go to, okay? Somewhere where we can feel good about ourselves as a... Come on, stop the music, please. Somewhere where our people can feel good about ourselves as a culture, okay? No, real talk. And so all this twerking and shit, take it to Prime, take it to Pink, don't bring it here because we're a restaurant. And so beyond that, 75% of my customers are ladies. And I want men to show respect for themselves for how they carry themselves here. So how can I tell the men to respect themselves and you guys are twerking on glass here? If you want to do it, get the fuck out my restaurant. Because I did it for our people and I did it for our culture. So don't do it now. Don't do it again. I don't want to hear it. If you don't like it, get out because I don't need your money. I need to provide something for my people. And don't do it again. Thank you. Themselves here. So how can I tell the men to respect themselves and you guys are twerking on glass here? If you want to do it.
I'm not sure who needs to hear this, but black women twerking does not mean they don't have respect for themselves. As a matter of fact, it's so many of us in our community that's lost in the sauce of respectability politics. It's time for us to explore how double standards of respectability harm black women uniquely. The gender nature of respectability politics allow for people to say, how can I expect men to respect themselves and y'all are twerking on glasses? The words of Indaloran, black men who believe that black women only deserve respect when they meet certain criteria unintentionally tell us that not all black women or not all black people matter. Just as black men who do not deserve to be stopped and frisked because they sag their pants, a black woman does not deserve to be harassed or assaulted because she wears short shorts or because she is twerking. Same respectability politics y'all deploying against these black women is the same respectability politics that was used to pull up George Floyd's criminal record after he was dead. Respectability justifies Sandra Bland's incarceration because she was talking back.
So black people can have somewhere nice to go to, okay? Somewhere where we can feel good about ourselves.
So you made a space for black people to go to feel good about ourselves, but then you use respectability politics to police us in that same space? What's going on? You weaponize respectability against your patrons because they wasn't being classy, and then you turn around and tell them to get the F out your restaurant. That's not classy. Just so we clear, according to dictionary.com, respectability politics is defined as a set of beliefs upholding the conformity to prescribed mainstream standards of appearance and behavior will protect a person as a part of a marginalized community, especially a black person. And even dictionary.com knows respectability politics place blame on the groups already hindered by discrimination. Sprinkle some more context in this. African Americans adopted a politics of respectability, claiming that respectability through manners and morality furnished an avenue for African Americans to assert the will and agency to redefine themselves outside of prevailing racist discourse. The irony in the same thing that black women get called ratchet for, other women get called classy and trendy for it, man. And listen, it's not necessarily what he said, but how he said it. The old folks always say it's not what you do, but how you do it. Hey, he from Texas, I'm from Texas. I know the old school taught us better than that. Yes, I understand he went to the table multiple times. All he need to say is this not the zone for dancing. Can you please leave my restaurant? The pathology and stereotyping of black women, hypersexualizing them was not cool at all. This is why you can't get lost in the sauce. The politics of respectability aligns with white supremacist notions of womanhood, manhood, sexuality, and family, leaving little room for LGBTQ experiences, class differences, and more. You serving lithy drinks in your restaurant playing WAP and you mad because people getting up and dancing? So many of us conditioned. I agree, we can't parade ourselves as such. And I agree with what he stated. He asked multiple times, so he did what was necessary to get his point across. I agree with him. This is probably why we get kicked out of places because people act like that in other people's restaurants. Respectability not gonna save us. Every black woman is not gonna be like Michelle Obama, and even Michelle Obama got denigrated in being respectable. Come on now. Yes, it is his restaurant that he claimed he created with his own mouth in terms of the space of enjoyment for black people to be ourselves. You cannot expect for every black woman to act like Michelle Obama or Claire Huxtable, especially if we can recognize that even Michelle Obama exerting respectability, she still got denigrated for being what? A black woman. And just so we clear, my criticism is not that he kicked them out of his restaurant. My issue is that he said, how can I expect for men to have respect for themselves and y'all in here twerking as if women that twerk do not deserve respect? So you made a restaurant for black people and you claim that 70% of your patrons is black women. You serving them alcoholic beverages and you're playing twerk music and you mad and pissed off that they are twerking? And then you get mad and talk shit to them for not being classy and acting professional. And then you in turn act unprofessional and unclassy, telling them to get the F out and literally perpetuating rape culture, saying, how can I respect y'all and y'all twerking? How is this snowball fallacy and objectively disrespectful and he playing twerk music? And he's saying he created the space uniquely for black people.
If you want to do it, get the fuck out my restaurant. Because I did it for our people and I did it for our culture. So
you did it for our people, you did it for our culture. The hypersexual pathologization of black women was done for our people and our culture, where you ask if they even worthy of respect because they twerking. Oh, 4 reasons why respectability politics ain't no place in the black community and is not gonna save us. Keep your legs closed at all times, says the folks of respectability politics. Their arguments that if black women do not acknowledge or flaunt their sexuality, we can extinguish the hypersexual stigma. This argument usually reduces into sexually shaming black women. Number 1, black women do not control the master narrative. The media fuels the master narrative and the ideas that circulate about black women, and the media is not ran by black women, but older white men who profit greatly from the hypersexualization of black women stereotype. This means that even if all black women tried to act like Michelle Obama or Claire Huxtable, that the mainstream media would still find a way to hypersexualize them because they get profit from it. To challenge respectability politics and not conform to it. Too many of us is lost in the sauce of respectability politics. Number 2 reason for why respectability politics is not going to save us. Black women are not a monolith. We do not need for every black woman to try to act like Claire Huxtable. That wouldn't be an accurate representation of black womanhood. For everybody in the back, we all have our various ways of expressing ourselves that go far beyond this bullshit binary of respectable versus ratchet. Some of us are both and are neither. Number 3, respectability politics work to further restrict and shame rather than liberate. You heard it right. In respectability politics, we create a very small heteronormative prison cell for black women to function in. All black women must be clear, otherwise they're an embarrassment. Speaking for themselves, black women are so diverse and express themselves in such varied ways that demanding for a specific way to publicly perform suppresses not only our sexuality, but our everyday mannerisms and ways we walk around the world. And number 4, ultimately, respectability politics is a result of internalized racism, internalized black inferiority, and obviously internalized misogyny.